Hello, hello, hello. Subtitles are working. Hooray. Hi, everyone. Hello, hello, Hogan. Hello, Stu Dylan. Nice to see you guys here. Hope you're doing very well this morning. My name is Fiona. I use she, her pronouns, and this is Too Long Didn't Read Tabletop RPGs, in which we spend an hour or two going through an RPG that has caught my interest and do a bit of an accountability stream where we read through an RPG and discuss what we like about it, what, if anything, can be improved. This is a critique rather than criticism, and anything about accessibility, because accessibility is important to digital RPGs and whatnot. Hello! That seemed very smooth compared to normal. It's because I probably did a recording earlier today, so I'm just like, right, everything's okay. I hope people are doing well. I'm just going to turn down the music a little bit to me. As joyous as this is, I just need to turn it down a little bit for myself. Let me know if there's anything up with said audio. There we go. Hope everyone is doing well. It's so nice to have you in and spend a little bit of time looking at RPGs. I was talking to someone earlier about how much I do enjoy doing these, and it's just like, and we had questions on our Discord about, do you prefer horror games, like games that claim to be horror, like Call of Cthulhu or Shiver or anything like that, or do you prefer non-horror games which must have horror elements? And ultimately, I am a vibe sort of person. Like, I have to be like, any game could be horror. But obviously I know horror is not for everyone unless they go like that. Anyway, that's not the point of this stream today. I don't know why I started talking about that. But I hope you're well wherever you are, and thank you for joining us or watching this back when you get time to. Today, friends, we are going to look at a very interesting RPG. We're looking at Babes in the Wood, a tabletop role-playing game of kids and critters lost in an endless wood on Halloween night, which is I'm very excited for. Again, I rolled randomly on my big, long list of tabletop RPGs. So that is, again, I was like, I will get this. And of course, how silly of me not to realise that there is a little actual play series. A good friend, Ed Spence, who some people who are watching the channel know, did Orbital Blues, is currently doing 4th Age over on Wounded Warrior Project, has done a limited series, the whole wonderful cast of people with this particular system, produced by Drax as well. So yeah, I will make sure I have a link to that in the show notes, because I would recommend checking it out. It is a very well produced actual play, regardless of the system, but it has certain vibes, which I'm like, I like this. And it's always nice to see an actual play in general that is not the usual sort of D&D-S type thing. And yeah, I think vibes is what I'm going for, I think, in this particular read through. So, as always, we're going to start off by getting away from Big Fiona Face into small Fiona Face. Hello. So this is where you can get it. You can get it on World Champ Games, co.itch.io, Babes in the Wood. You can get a physical copy over on their actual website, which is nice. Although I will say a very weird image to have. Like, I've not optimized it in some way, but also I could have. I think I might have actually. Now that I think about it, if I just do. No. I was right. They've weirdly put it elsewhere. But okay, so you want a physical copy? Absolutely check that out. One thing I'd say as well is that they do have them on sliding scales for the physical copies. Default price is about $40, but a limited number are at a little bit of a discount for those experiencing economic hardship, which is nice. And then some are a bit higher if you want to make more discounted as well, which is something I've actually not seen for physical copies. I know on Itch we do have like community copies, etc., but I've never seen that for hard copies. Personally, I'm sure there are places that do it. I just thought I'd just point that out. But yes, first of all, how lovely is this? The artwork. I'm going to scroll down to some artwork now. How gorgeous is it? Again, proper vibes and that sort of Halloweeny sort of spookiness, but in a non-horror way. I appreciate. I keep saying that because I do love horror, but I like this idea that it is sort of like folklore, fairy tale essentially. I also love the logo of the sort of the color. Go from orange to yellow there. It's a pumpkin. Very cutesy. Very good. But yes, let's go straight into it. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit and then we'll go on to the actual PDF as well. Hands. It's too much enhancing. God. So encounter the peculiar folks who reside within and help solve their problems whilst confronting your own relationships and fears. Catch literal lightning bugs for the North Witch potions. Bear witness to the royal cat wedding of Sir Poppy and the princess. Or simply tell tales with your friends as you traverse the strange eternal wood. But be wary. Dark forces and foes lie in the tangled depths of the forest and have their sights set on you. Adam Vass, obviously designed and published it. We've got some great illustrations by Kim Newen. Seb Pines as well. Again, this is where my knowledge of stuff goes off the window, but I've seen their work before. I think I want to say Will Jobs did. This Discord has Ghost in it. I think Seb Pines has worked with that person as well. Anyway, Babes in the Woods is a 2 to 5 player. It's for 2 to 5 players and a game master with additional rules for GMless play. Always nice. It is designed to accommodate both a single play session, like a movie, or short-term campaigns, like TV series or a serialized comic book. With just two six-sided dice, also must be powered by the Apocalypse sort of game. And this book, fill your group with big kids, little kids, critters, toys, woods children, and be on your way, facing your fears and chasing your dreams through the mysterious world. It is inspired by stuff like Over the Garden Wall, Wizard of Oz, Adventure Time, and more kid-friendly media that rings more surreal and eerie when viewed through adult eyes. And there you go, this game is powered by the Apocalypse. Yes, I was thinking that as well. I don't know, again, this may be just a weird reference I'm thinking of just now, but Return to Oz is one of my favourite films of all time, because it's very dark, and I just remember that scene, the way where Dorothy has to find the item that contains Scarecrow in a huge hall with all these beautiful, extravagant items and stuff like that, and it was kind of intense watching it back, and actually quite scary. And there are other things. There's the context. It's a much darker theme, and I appreciate this is not necessarily that, but yeah, I just thought how good Return to Oz, the video game, the film was. You got the Wheelers, you got TikTok, that big automaton, you got the moving couch. So that sort of vibe of like things are eerie and different. It's surreal. Surreal is not different. Surreal. The game mechanics encourage creativity, exploration, friendships, jokes, always good, and consolation. Sessions are primarily made up of visiting various hollows, locations in the woods where curious people live their lives outside of time. In each hollows, the kids will have opportunities to interact with the strange goings-ons in the forest, offer their help, and creative problem-solving skills to those in need. When playing for multiple sessions, you visit many hollows and help all sorts of people learning about yourself in the process. Between hollows, the group wanders the wood, and based on dice rolls and stats, either comes face to face with the Fiend, oh, no thank you, capitals, the embodiment of fear that lurks in the forest depths, waiting to take advantage of the weak-willed wanderers, or are offered calm moments of respite during which they tell stories and confide in one another, strengthening their friendships. Nice. The more afraid the kids are, the more likely fear and the Fiend will appear in the story. But the more confident and hopeful, the more likely they'll have fun instead. Organised fun. I know I've watched it, but I barely remembered it. Oh, well, the Return to Oz, Hogan. I'd recommend having another check out of it. I think my favourite bit is Princess Mombi. And it's all inspired by various books from the Wizard of Oz series, where she takes off her own head, puts it in a glass case, and picks up another head, and a different actress plays her. And I've used that imagery, that idea of a witch-like character changing her heads depending on who you're talking to. I love it. It's, yeah, again, of its time, an 80s film, and there's definitely like references to them not believing Dorothy, so she gets sent to an institution. And yeah, again, I enjoyed the story at the time. If I watched it back, I probably would be like, oh, sad now. The game involves a tug-of-war between these resources that players interact with to create scares, compassions, drama, and humour in equal parts. And then, there's a license. It's published under a 4.0 license, a Creative Commons. How wonderful! Oh, that's great. I really like that. That movie scared me. Oh, yeah. It's again one of those things in a kind of a good way. Yes, it is definitely one of those things where I'm like, did I watch it when I was too young? Yes. Like I remember like the whole Mountain King, and again that the CGI or the puppetry around that was so good. And then at the end when he's defeated, falls in on himself, like basically melting. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. There you go. Yeah, and then it's about $15, so about £13 in your British sterling money. which is not bad for what you get, I think. Like, again, you get, just having a quick look here, you also get a PDF. You got an accessible simplified version, which I haven't downloaded. I've only got the sort of the main book there, but we'll maybe check that out in a second. And then a rich text file as well. So if you don't have a PDF, you got that there, which I always think is quite good. And yet, normally here's where you get beauty copies, but we've also got downloadable a downloadable demo as well. So you got the playbook, some basic moves, etc. Looks like a couple of hollows, so a couple of locations as well. That's pretty awesome as well. Like I said, we're gonna look at the main rule book for this because it's the one I've got. But it's nice. Yeah. Again, if you can't look at the full copy just now, you've got a couple to go with. So hopefully, what we're talking about will make sort of some sense. And like I said, you can absolutely grab a physical copy over on worldchampionship.io, the store, which is, again, I know I'm talking to convert it a little bit here. There's some very nice things here. She says, trying to find, like, I'll be honest, I haven't got into Zines and, like, picking up, like, physical Zines and RPGs for a long time, just because I knew I was moving. And now I'm looking at these gorgeous bits of art, and I'm like, oh, I want that solo game about Letters to Sandra. Yeah, that sounds good. I want this romantic tarot game for 2 called The Lovers. So, again, worth definitely a checking out of all the different kinds of like indie, solo, and quick RPG things. There's also a bumper sticker randomly there as well. Right, all that out of the way. Let's get into the actual... turn the button. There. And I'm going to just change the music slightly, because as much as I love Bright Beginnings from the Heart's Desire soundtrack, it's a little bit hopeful. I'm going to put on my other favourite one I like, which is the Waltzing of Books one, which is a Strixhaven one. There we go. It's a little quiet. I'll put that up a little bit. Alright, so here we go. So first thing to note, with Babes in the Wood, the PDF itself, it's square. It's a square book. And normally, again, often we get RPGs that are a traditional sort of A4 format, but it's nice to have a square book. I think, again, it's a choice in terms of like layout and design and stuff like that. But I think it's eye-catching. People will see it and be like, oh, and it feels like a children's book. It feels like a fairy tale book, right? And that's what it makes me think of when I see it. I just quite like that choice. The book itself is about 56 pages long in PDF, which again indicates to me like it's a decent length. We're gonna get some playbooks. We'll get maybe some stuff for like the hollows or those location stuff. We probably won't get an adventure stuff. It's probably going to encourage us to do our own thing. One thing I'd say with this particular PDF, like I said, it's not the accessible one, so I think maybe that's just old text. Perhaps there is no old text, which I'm sad about. I guess, like I said yesterday when we did the quick start for Cryptic Creeks, I was like, oh, there's alt text everywhere. And I just spent my time. What a great image, though. I really like it. It gets the female, you've got, a witch with a pumpkin, with wheels, and a little kitty cat. It's always good. Alright, move on. Oh my god, I love this. Where's the wrapping paper? I want wrapping paper. Or background. You know, actually, one thing I saw the other day was an artist that I follow on Instagram. She had remade lots of her prints, which were gorgeous prints, into phone backgrounds, but she'd resized them so they would fit, and then you would buy them for like, less than £5, whatever. And actually, now that I think about it, yeah, I would totally pay for a decent, high quality version of like a background of an RPG book or something like that to put on my desktop, phone. I think, again, way to put money into these things, I know, but I was like, oh, very nice. Oh, excuse me. Alright. Nice. I like that interior cover though. It's quite nice. We've got the content there. If it's by Kickstarter, I didn't know it was a Kickstarter one. Full jobs. There you go. Oh, Chris Bassetti. We've had Chris Bassetti on Where before. My podcast, What Am I Rolling? To talk about stuff. That's interesting. I did not know they were a part of this. That's awesome. It's inspired, derived of, or otherwise owes gratitude to the games by Vincent Baker, Jason Cordova. Interesting. Jesse Ross. Oh, so that's like a trophy dart stuff there. Interesting. Sage, Sound Tongue, Sam Roberts. I'm unaware of these folks, but I will definitely check out stuff. That sounds great. And obviously download more stuff. So what have we got? We've got introduction, safety tools, playing the game, characters, basic moves, additional rules, hollows, woods, fiend, home, narrator's section. Oh, I guess we're called a narrator. Nice. Composing a problem, playing without a narrator, sample hollows, and player sheets. So really, the first sort of chunk of this, up to the I would say basic additional rules, it's under 20 pages of main rules. That's pretty good, actually. And I do like it's quite small in here, and it's not taking up its own page, so it must be quite compact. This book. Okay, well, again, we'll see how far we go. We've only got like 2 hours for this, and we'll just go from it from there. Wow. Oh no. Text and there's no alt text. Okay, I'm gonna try and read this, but bear with me, guys. This is slow. Okay. It said on the darkest of night, the woods fill with frights, all waiting for first wayward babe led astray. Trees stretch and they yawn, shadows of those long gone. Once the children now lost, unable to find their own way. So bring bags of your try. May your candles have wicks. A night falls without end when strange friends come out to play. I like it. I mean, it's a nice little bit of art piece. I completely butchered that in terms of reading it aloud. Ooh, interesting. Okay. It's a little bit small in text, but we've got 3 columns of stuff. So, alright, well, let's see. Oh, you guys can't see that. Ignore me. So, Babes in the Wood is a tabletop role-playing game for 2 to 6 players. There's a little there. Of course, you could play with more or less than this, but you may want to take special consideration to ensure every player has fun and feels involved in making a story. Makes me think of just sorry, I know we're just about to get into this. When we looked at Starcross the other day, and how they had like a mega game feel for that. If you guys, we could play with more people for this for Babes in the Wood. It's like, oh, that would be quite fun. Have like an ongoing sort of mega game, and then stories that happen in one person's version of the woods impact another version of the woods. One person acts as the narrator, describing the world and its inhabitants, non-player characters or folks. Ooh, great, we get a nice name for us as a GM, and folks as the non-player characters. I like that. Simple, straightforward. And inserting challenges into the game's story. The rest of the group each controls an individual player character called Kids, describing their thoughts, words, and actions over the course of the story and reacting to the circumstances presented by the narrator. In this game, the kids are children, critters, and toys wandering a dark, mysterious, and eternal forest. Along the way, they encounter peculiar people, welcoming witches, crafty creatures, and more denizens of the wood. Players then help those in need in creative and obscure ways, benefiting the logic of children, simultaneously exploring and confronting their own feelings and fears. All the while, an evil presence stalks from the shadows of the wood, a fiend, who manipulates the area and its inhabitants according to its dark whims. Ooh. Again, nice, straightforward, really summarizes what this game is. You're going to try and sell it to people to play. Excuse me. Things you'll need. So we need a list of basic moves, playbooks. We've got big kid, little kid, critter, toy, or woods child. And these archetypes are detailed later on, and they contain all the information that the player needs. Players can choose all different playbooks or have multiples of this particular types, whatever you choose is fine. That's nice, because again, I was saying this before with sometimes we play Power by the Apocalypse games, is that you might be like, oh, everyone has to be a separate character or a separate playbook. You can't double up. But it's nice that we've got the choice here. Each kid needs 3d6 and the narrator-specific move list and sheet. We can play the game without a narrator by using some special rules explained later on, in which you will want to also have the shadow moves accessible by all players. Woohoo! Shadow moves, excellent. Now we can download all these things on the worldchampion.io. Sadly, not a link, as I was hoping for. I was hoping for some hyperlinks there. Alright, safety tools. So the comfort of all participants is paramount when role-playing and takes precedence over any aspect of the game itself. Checking in with one another to make sure everyone is still having fun over the course of the play. The following tools can help ensure everyone enjoys themselves whilst avoiding unwanted or triggering content. We have the open door policy, so players should feel free to quit the game at any time if needed. Players' obligation to do what is right for themselves outweighs finishing the game. Be upfront with the rest of the group if you need to leave, and be understanding if a fellow player decides to do so. Lines of Veil. So before the game begins, the players are encouraged to voice anything they don't want included at all. These are lines and should not be crossed. Topics established as lines can still exist in the world of your story, but will not be explored or discussed at all during play. Lines are often used to avoid offensive content or subjects a player finds upsetting or triggering. Veils are things that players are comfortable including in the story, but want to control how overt they are. Metaphorically, these events or topics are hidden behind a veil. They happen in the world of the story, but aren't described in detail. Veils are often used to censor graphic content that serves us some purpose in the story, but does not need to be described explicitly. I think those are quite good summaries of what those both are. I always say, like, veils are something like the camera doesn't see, sort of pans away, but I actually quite like that idea that, we're just censoring content that serves some purpose, but we don't need to describe it in some way. So using lines of veils allows players to make clear boundaries about the content in the game, and since the game has players often interacting with aspects of fear, that of your own character, yourself, or both, respects the emotional limitations of the people involved while maintaining important themes of the game in a healthy way. Nice. Again, not that you ever need to justify using safety rules, but it's quite nice to be like, here's why we use them. Here's a good thing, and why it's specific to this particular game as well, because we are dealing with trauma, we're dealing with fear in some way. To supplement lines and veils and focus on the positive and exciting elements of the game, consider using palettes, themes, and instances that you specifically do hope are included in the setting or story. I call these boundaries, but I like the name palette and themes and instances. Because boundaries, I'll explain to those people who are watching this for the first time. For me, we have boundaries, which are very important, but sometimes they suck the energy out of the room a little bit, because we're like, okay, here's the admin, we have to keep people safe. Absolutely. Boundaries is something that bring you, the player or the GM or whoever's a part of this role-playing game, something of delight, something that excites you. And it doesn't have to be necessarily big or small or anything like that, but it could be like, I really love characters. For my ones as a GM, they're different between GMs and players, but like for me, I love out of the box thinking, where you're like, okay, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do this, and it's going to work. Like that. I love that because it's like, okay, you're looking into the mechanics, demonstration of mechanics. I also love as well when people are engaging with that and creating the story. I just love silly improv in that sort of sense, but also keeping within character. I love that as well. So yeah, anything like that brings me joy. And if we go around and share something that brings us joy, can be lots of things. It can be one thing. We might not be able to think of something. It might come to you later. It means that during play, you're like, oh, that person, they really love being able to monologue about certain things, like doing character monologues. I can see an organic moment to be like, hey, hand over a character monologue. Like in improv, we've had stuff. I've seen people like go, I really like talking about relationship dates I've been on, because it's so wild, and I like including that in my storytelling. I've seen people like, I don't mind being picked up, pick me up, that sort of thing. Again, I know that's more physical. One person was like, I love singing. I never force people to sing. There's also that sort of thing of going, oh, not for me as well. So I don't mind scenes about dentists or dentistry, but not for my character. Everyone else can have it. And I think just having that conversation, it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be like half an hour. Build it into that character creation, but just having it there as a standard 10 minutes of checking in, normalizing, like, hey, what do we want in the game? What don't we want? And then if people want to carry on talking about it, we can. But if I'm like, okay, it's been 10 minutes, I think we've got enough. If we need any more, please say so or message me, etc. So I like the name palettes. And here it says like palettes are themes and instances that you specifically do hope are included in the setting or story. While some may be reserved for later use, others will immediately be included. Palettes further allow players to manage expectations and ensure the game satisfies everyone involved. Yeah, themes and instances, like I'd love to see like autumn leaves like coming down, like maybe sounds, and like it's almost like I can imagine like a Pinterest board on it, or a mood board or anything like that. Just like having those things to like get you into the feel of it. So that's quite nice. I like calling it palettes. I'd never heard of that one before. Cats. So cats. I know this comes from Jason Cordova's Brindlewood Bay. So cats is an acronym. Standing for concept, aim, tone, and subject matter. Before diving into play, go over these with each player to ensure everyone is on board and knows what they're signing up for. So the concept. of Babes in the Wood is a game about confronting fears, establishing and strengthening friendships, and helping those in need. Helping out those in need. It's also about exploring the fun and the creativity of youth in a strange land that fluctuates between charming, comical, and scary. Aim: to inspire creativity among players, to practice empathy, to explore and engage in interpersonal drama, to further a shared narrative, and to resolve the drama in healthy, fun ways via dynamic character arcs and relationships. It does feel a bit like you're reading through like a project, sort of like it's all the beats in the stories, but I think it's useful to have. You can make, like it says, it gets everyone's on board as a result. Tone. The game fluctuates often between extremes of comedy, charm, fright, and vulnerability. While the setting can sometimes be weird or unsettling, players' responses can easily shift the tone back to a light-hearted experience or double down on serious drama. Curate the emotional tone of your game as needed. And finally, subject matter. Interpersonal relationships and subjective morality are the main focus of this game. Manipulation or coercion from outside is a possible touchstone, but should be used carefully with regards to player comfort. Elements of suspense and horror are important, but not ever present. Slapstick comedy is common, but should be used furthest extent from any physical violence. Okay. Oh, you guys can't see that. I'll move it up a little bit. Script change. Because most players are familiar with TV and movies, consider using language from those mediums to help guide your experience play. Script change is a tool created by Bo Jarg-Sheldon, that integrates screen conventions into your gameplay and maintain the enjoyment and comfort of all your players. So anytime during play, your player can simply use the following words to guide your story or conversations. Say, fast forward, rewind, pause, frame by frame. Those top three, I think, are very obvious. Fast forward lets us skip over things we don't describe or interact with. They may still take place in the narrative, but you don't need to go into detail and can skip ahead. Yeah, basically a basic sort of fade to black sort of thing. And moving on with story. A rewind goes back and changes things, removes events or instances that don't fit the narrative. Pause gives people a moment to think or find their center when things get challenging or intense. Use this if you need a minute to yourself, whether in response to the content or simply leave the room to grab a drink. And then frame by frame slows things down and encourages players to tread lightly when dealing with content they may be unsure about. Continuing play whilst being careful of potential harm in these moments. The initiating player can at any time say play to exit the frame mode and resume your usual method of play. I like that. Again, I guess this kind of makes sense using this particular tool rather than, say, the X card. Using script change, certainly for this game. I think script change and the Lines of Veils works pretty well here. I think it's a more gentle fact. I mean, X card is always still on the table for my games, but I quite like the use of this. And I quite like how it's been described as well. Using these terms in sentences can be helpful too. So instead of shouting, rewind! You can instead say, let's rewind to just before the witch offered me that soup. And continue from there. And, you can get the full text here. But it's not a hyperlink. That is a shame. But good to know. I'm glad that they put in at least a note to it in some way. Okay. Playing the game. Now, Babes in the Wood is played through conversation, as all these are role-playing games we've covered here so far do. The narrator describes the setting and situations surrounding characters, and the players describe how their characters react and interact. This conversation continues until a player wishes to do a certain action, called a move. There are particular instances in the story where fate and luck get involved, and the players are required to roll dice to determine what direction the story moves in. You don't need to be familiar with all the game's moves at once. It may be easy to only focus on the moves in your given situation and learn more as you go. Moves are divided into a few groups. So we have basic moves, special moves, the wood move, theme moves, rare moves, and narrator moves. So we've got 6 in total there. So basic moves are the common actions by any player can take at any time. Special moves are only used by particular types of characters or in particular situations. The wood move is a singular special action that occurs when the characters travel between hollows and are forced to enter the depths of the dangerous ethereal wood or forest. themed moves occur as a result of a particular negative would move outcomes, or when darkness seeps into the everyday lives of those living in the hollows. They involve kids facing their fears, literal and metaphorical, by interacting with various shadowy villains. Rare moves are special moves designed for very specific instances, like interacting with particular characters or rare items. These are rare, so you may never encounter one in your story, which is fine. Examples of rare moves are included in the sample hollows at the end of this book. Okay, great. You can also create your own unique moves with narrator's permission or when designing your own adventures. And then finally, we've got narrator's moves, which are used by the narrator, naturally, in response to the kids' actions to create or maintain the drama or momentum of a shared story. Yeah, straightforward, good. I'd be interested because rare moves sounds a bit like custom move, sure. But it's nice that if you got examples in the hollow so that they are related to the location. It's like when we talked about the scenarios for what they call the curses for Cryptic Creeks yesterday, or anything with Jason Cordona's story, is that you could have like apart from Brindlewood Bay systems, not all Jason Cordona's books. But you can have like special is this particular mask or a particular crown that's related to this particular book that you can use as well as a one-off. So I quite like that. I really love the vibe. I also like the colour of the pages. It's a little like almost like autumnal. You know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of a pumpkin spice latte now. That's what I'm like. Is it fall yet? I know it's a very, very much middle class white woman to say like pumpkin spice latte. When a particular thing happens in a game story, a move's trigger will tell you to do a particular thing at the table to determine what happens next, usually involving dice. Most often, you are required to roll 2d6 or two six-sided dice and add the two resulting numbers to a relevant stat listed in the move's text. You'll then compare your result to the options shown for that move before deciding along with the narrator what happens next. There we go, we've got 3 tiers of success there, so 10 plus is our successes. Hooray! And means that you accomplish what you intended to do. There are often additional rewards for succeeding in this way listed in the move's text as well. 7 to 9, as always, is complicated. Are complicated. And usually asked to make a hard decision between 2 options where you take 2 steps forward but 1 step back. These are called partial successes, or I usually call them mixed successes myself, and the most common results. And then 6 or less results are misses, and mean that your attempted action has unintended and occasionally dire consequences. The move's text will guide you and the narrator in describing the fallout of your attempt. Often, you'll be given a consolation prize. There you go. Prize for a miss, such as XP. But other times, you may receive harm instead of a boon or in addition to. When a player wants to do something that isn't covered by a move, their character simply succeeds at doing it. If a move is necessary, however, you may call it out before an attempt, or a narrator or another player may make you aware of it before reminding you there's a chance of failure. Helping each other navigate play is an essential part of the game for both the narrative and for your experience at the table. Being transparent and clear about which moves you use and when will help everyone understand how things work and propel the story through the dice-infused moments of tension and resolution. Remember, having fun whilst telling a story together is always more important than how closely you adhere to the rules in the book. It's interesting because I very interested in this one. Working and lurking. Oh, hello, Sakaya. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Yes. I can imagine this one being quite up your alley, so to speak. Hope you're doing well and hope work's going okay. I think it's interesting because Powered by the Apocalypse games, I think often you assume that, oh, there's all these moves that I could do. But actually, I found on the whole, it is more about the conversation, and maybe you only roll 1 or 2 things. Because I know when I first started doing Powered by the Apocalypse games, I used to angle for I want to use this move because I think this would work in a good way. And I remember my GM for a particular game I'm thinking of, I think we played Masks, she said, yeah, you do it. And I was like, oh, but I want to roll for things. Because I was like, this is a new system. But actually, quite a lot of the time, if it's, why roll for lots of things when you could be really flavoursome about it and stuff? like that. So I actually quite like that about being transparent and clear about which moves you'd like to use. But then if the narrator's like, oh no, you just do it. Like, I think it just gets people into the habit of like uh, asking and talking about these sort of things. Because again, I think sometimes they're a bit overwhelming, powered by the Pocket Games. But clearly, this has been made. I wonder if it's been made for a certain audience in mind, like maybe a younger audience. Because it's definitely. I'm not saying over describing or oversimplifying, but it's definitely using language which is very easy to read and read aloud as well. So I wonder if it is made for a younger audience. But I mean, I very much appreciate it, and it feels like a very good tone as well. It's not overcomplicating matters; it's just keeping it in simple language as well. Um, what was the other thing I was going to say? Being transparent and clear. Well, yeah, I don't mind asking for moves now. I think I know it's tricky because I know some people just like they find the worst player. The less dice rolls, the better for me. Well, you've got bad dice, Sakaya, and I have bad dice, so we know this. But I think for me, there's something about oh, thanks, McAfee. He's telling me I've got lots of junk I need to get rid of. You probably heard the beep in the sound there. Oh, and my audio's gone. Why is that? Let me bring that back. No. Ah, interesting. I'm just gonna keep talking, and then maybe it'll turn back off on the second. That's really weird. Um, but yeah, I feel like the way that when we have that, yeah, I feel like the worst in quotation marks, the worst kind of player you can have is players that just roll the dice and go, okay, I rolled a performance check and I got a 30. And I'm like, no, I didn't. Why? What? You don't know if that's going to be the right role for it or anything like that. Um, you got to talk to us. You got to ask us. So yeah, those are the worst players. But I always like checking like, oh, could this be a performance role here, or can this be like this? Or they could be like, do I see anything? Do I hear anything? I ask questions. And go, oh, well, that sounds right. You're doing this move, and you're like, oh, damn, they know. Why? Tell you what, I'm gonna shut my iTunes and nothing is happening. That's so typical, isn't it? I'm gonna get rid of this. Tell you what, I will cut quickly to a be right back screen and see what's happened here because my computer seems to have done something funny. But I'll be back in like 2 seconds. If I can't fix it, we'll just do it without music. So be right back, guys. And we're back. Sorry, no, I think what happened was that my external hard drive decided to undo itself, which has all my music on it. So it just went completely silent, background music. But yeah, no, I can hear you. No, yeah, I know you can hear me, but there is hopefully some little bit of background music that I was putting on as well, so to make it so it doesn't sound too bad. Anyway, that's back now. Apologies for that, folks. Maybe I need to figure out if that happens again. So, on to advantage and disadvantage. Occasionally, your story may dictate that a character is in better or worse positioning to enact an intended move. When it makes narrative sense that you would be able to perform a move with a high likelihood of success, the narrative will assign you advantage. And this means you roll 3d6 and use the two highest results, increasing the odds of success. And then we've got little play examples here, which is quite nice, in tiny little, almost like ticket stubs, which I quite like that as well. And it's quite short as well, which is nice. Conversely, when you would potentially have more of a difficult time pulling off an intended action, the narrator can assign you disadvantage, making it harder for you to get a success. And in this instance, you would roll 3d6 and take the two lowest results, increasing the chances of a miss. There are other instances that can change how you use dice during play, but we'll dig into those later. First, let's see what kinds of kids you'd want to be. Excellent. Gorgeous. Oh, what a cute. I love that. Oh, adorable. Although that is terrifying. I mean, tag yourself. Who is who? That I like to think I would be this little fox creature because I do love foxes. I think ultimately though, this is who I am. A terrifying wooden mannequin ballerina kind of person. What a great little bit of art. Again, a little bit of a shame there's no alt text. But yeah, it's very beautiful though. I like that. Again, what I always say this merch. Those stickers of these characters and stuff, and fridge magnets, pins. I know. Right. In Babes in the Wood, each player, other than the narrator, takes on the role of a single character. You speak in their voice, think in their head, and describe their conversations, thoughts, actions, and reactions. These are kids, the wanderers of the wood, and the group of friends about whom we'll tell our story. Each kid archetype comes with a playbook detailing traits, special moves available to them, and customizing characters you want to portray. Each player will need a copy of their kid's playbook during play, whether printed, in-person play, or a digital facsimile when playing online. Players are encouraged to use pencils to annotate their streets as the details may change and need to be erased or rewritten during play. You can download these from World Champs. Actually, it was a good point. I didn't check if the downloads we get, if they are playbooks are words have gone from my head. If the playbooks are accessible, like in that we can form fillable. That's the word I was looking for. Let me try and find that page now. Where I've got rid of it. There's Babes in the Wood. Let's go down and download it from the downloads section. You can hear me thinking in real time, folks. I am so sorry. Even I don't like that. Alright, playbooks. Let's open this big kit one. Now, sadly, I mean, what a gorgeous playbook. Oh, it's one page as well. That's nice. It's not form fillable. That is a shame. We'll come back to that. You know what, I'll open up more. Let's see. Let's do Critter. Oh, it doesn't change. Like the images doesn't change. But I love those sweets and stuff. It, again, feels like very Halloween candy-esque type thing, doesn't it? Alright, well, we'll tell you what, why don't we open which one? Oh, there's a playbook for the narrator. Oh, that's quite cool. Alright, hang on. Should have opened these beforehand, shouldn't I? Ooh, alright. And then tell you what, we'll get out a toy. There we go. We'll look at the toy one because that sounds quite interesting. Alright, there we go. Right. Okay, we've got that ready to go. Each kid archetype comes with a playbook detailing traits. Oh, I've selected that, haven't I? Yeah, okay. There are a handful of kid archetypes to choose from. So we've got big kids, little kids, critters, toys, and woods. So big kids their age range is like 10 to 15. It is a pretty layout, isn't it? I really like it. She says going back to it. Yeah, I like it. Like all the information on the left hand side, and it's just a shame it's not form fillable. Presumably there are form fillable ones out there. Where was it? So so they're between 10 and 15 years old. You might not consider yourself a child anymore with all the wisdom of the world you've acquired in your double-digit age. Big kids are often the group leaders by default, regardless of their qualifications or desires to be so. They are better at physical tasks, less lucky with emotional action. Puberty happens to us all. Little kids are 9 and under. You're excited to explore, to interact with the world around you, and to meet its inhabitants. Everything is fun and everyone is your friend. Little kids are often rambunctious, what a great word, and tend to be more concerned with the immediate action as opposed to potential repercussions. They have more skill in emotional tasks, but less physical prowess. Even. Critters, you are an animal, but something about you is special. Successfully able to blend in into the wood scenery as needed. Critters are highly intelligent at the expense of emotional and physical strength. Toys. You're still trying to understand what is happening around you. Your body moves in mysterious new ways as you traverse the forest. You were a toy, an inanimate object, but you have found animation in the wood. Toys are extremely loyal and caring towards their children counterparts, often to the detriment of their own well-being. And then finally, we have woods children. You have been in the woods so long you don't know you don't know any other way. Woods children have a better understanding of some of the strange qualities of people and places in the wood, but don't always understand the wants and fears of those more concerned with the outside world. Nice, some nice summaries there of the 5 different books. Oh, look at that. That's quite good, isn't it? So it breaks down. It's nice to see like a big version of the playbook here. Oop, wrong one. Move that across, Fiona. I've ruined it. I've absolutely biffed it. Never mind. It's nice to see like an actual copy of what the playbook looks like in the book itself. Will say, I feel it's because they've got a little bit of information here, and then it's going to go on to the next couple of pages as well. I wonder actually, now that I think about it, no, it's not even on the two-page spread that you can like look at it easily. I think again, my gut instinct here would have been to put this as on one page, like super big with all the labels and stuff, and then on the other, because I'm guessing it's all covered in 2 pages. Yeah, it's all covered in 2 pages. Try and put this into like one page so you can easily reference it. It's just a little bit tiny here. You've got this massive white space for some reason. So regardless of your chosen kid's archetype, the playbook is composed of the same handful of building blocks. So we've got the basics up here, which is your name, pronouns, age, costume/look, and other cosmetic identifying traits. We've got stats here, where they show you how good you are in 3 basic categories. We've got steam, which is physical actions, running, climbing, lifting, slamming, swimming. Noodle, which is mental actions, such as planning, counting, evaluating, remembering, navigating, and mush, social actions. Convincing, listening, consoling, and befriending. I love how they're sweet at the top there. Each one of your stats has a number assigned to them between -1 and 2. Higher numbers mean that you're better at using that stat. These numbers will alter the results of your dice rolls when you attempt moves, and stat numbers will also change during play. And then we've got special moves here, which is sort of on here, which we'll have, she says, realizing that she closed that book accidentally. Let's bring that here. So here are the special moves, which we can choose one during the setup. We've got either, for the toy, we've got sense intention, admire craft, come apart at the seams. Oh, those are quite evocative, aren't they, those ones? Like, oh, you can't even see it. I've just realized. Try again. Try again, Fiona. No. Close this one. Open it again. Nope, that's not working for some reason. Great. Cool. Love this thing. Open file. Oh, man. There we go. Now you got it. So yeah, here you go. You got special moves on the left-hand side. You've got sense intention, admire craft, come apart of the scenes. You've got 3 moves that one of you which you take during setup. I like that. That's good. We've also got some stats up here, which I think we're going to come into it in a second. Each move is written in the same format as your basic moves. And during character creation, choose one of the available options, and you may unlock the others during play. D is harm. So here, sweet here. Here. Harm, the ways in which you are hurt during the story, including mental, emotional, or physical. The wood does not differentiate between these types of harm, so insulted hurts the same as frustrated or exhausted. Harm is cumulative, meaning the more you have, the harder things get for you, regardless of the type. Items, which is, she says, back through. Items is here, with the candy corn essence. Useful tools and trinkets that you carry with you through the woods. Kids can only carry up to 3 items, each with up to 3 uses. Items degrade and break with repeated use, but you're able to replace broken items with new ones frequently. All kids except critters have a signature item. Oh, do we? Where? Sorry, I get excited. At the start of play, something that they brought with them on their journey. For big and little kids, it's an item that corresponds to their Halloween costume. Toys of woods children should have something relevant to their identity or background. Signature items do not degrade reviews and can only be lost if you decide to give it away or abandon it on your journey. Okay, I guess then it just fills up one of the slots here on your items, which is fine. But it would be nice to actually have that. So like this one is in bold. This is where you put the significant item. Oh, signature item. Sorry. Right, 5 is F is hope, which is here. So it's this chocolate bar on a yellow background here. What motivates you to keep you going when things are bad? Write something your character wants. It can be as profound, i.e., to be a better sibling, to find your way home in time for your parents' birthday, to give them a thoughtful gift you made, to realize your greater purpose, or as simple, to eat a big sandwich as you like. Yes, absolutely. That would be my goal, is to eat a big sandwich. As the story unfolds, you'll make realizations about yourself and make progress towards accomplishing or revising this hope. Collecting hope helps to keep you safe when you come face to face with the fiend or their agents on your journey. Your hope value increases from 0 at the start of play to 5 and never goes down. Next to each of the 5 circles on this track, you record the insights of how those experiences help you achieve your hope. When you are at 5 hope, you are able to leave the wood, and then more on that on page 30. Oh, okay. Just gonna look here. Yeah, you got 5 done there. That's quite good. Friendships, which is G. Here, these little sweets here. Values representing how strong your relationships are. These values do not have to be reciprocated by each player. You might think of a character as your best friend while they see you as a pet. Each of your friendships has values between 0 and 3. The higher the number, the more you trust someone. H is fear. Oh, here at the bottom. What causes you grief? What gives you pause or otherwise impedes your ability to keep going? Write down something your character is afraid of. Along your journey, you will be confronted with your fear, both directly and in the periphery. Your fear is a value that fluctuates between 0 at the start of play and 5, representing the intensity of the scares you witness in the woods and how affected you are by interacting with them. Certain moments may have you confronting or even giving in to your fear, in which case you've put a mark on your fear path, and your ability to continue traversing through the wood with your friends will be negatively impacted. Wishes. Wishes is here, these sort of 2 peanut butter Reese cups. It's a currency that you can use during the game to change the structure of the story. You begin the game with 1 and may hold a maximum of 2 wishes, and more information about that later on. J is XP, so this one little sweet here. Oh, I like that you can fill this one in. They're earned by performing moves and acting in a particular way during the story. XP can be saved and spent to make temporary or permanent changes to your character of the story. You may hold a maximum of 7 unused XP at any time. And finally, we've got questions, which is K, so these ones right at the bottom here. Considerations about characteristics, past experiences, and relationships that help define your character. Answer these before play begins, revealing some answers to the other players beforehand and keeping some secret to be revealed during the story. Some answers will have effects on other parts of your playbook, so let's see here. So, for the toy, we've got, you belong to your best friend, a child who is not part of your wandering group. How do they make you feel, and where are they now? Choose a trait your best friend has that you hope to emulate. Understanding, humor, courage, or other. You are drawn towards whatever power the wood grants you life. Is this beckoning, enticing, or frightening? What do you hope to find at its source? And then finally, each kid in your group reminds you of your best friend in their own way. Describe how and gain +1 friendship towards them. Oh, nice. I like that. Again, it doesn't really describe this bit up here, but presumably it will do in a second. Ooh, random character tables. To randomly choose your look, roll 2d6 and assign one result to the tens unit and the other result to the digits the other to the ones digit to make a 2-digit number. Well, hang on. I absolutely want to roll now. Costumes, we've got critters as well. Alright, we've got 2d6. So. Oh, that's a bit boring. That's 11. So I'm a lion. That's just a lion costume with claw gloves. Let me try again. 52. A mummy with toilet paper. I like that. I like that one right at the bottom, the 66. Your parents' job and a relevant item. I don't know if retired works. Now rolling is fun. Yes, no, I like this, and I like how they're all different. Like, you could be a costume of a dolphin. You know what? It reminds me of that. Again, very British film. Richard Curtis, Love Actually, where you have Hugh Grant and Martine McCutcheon in the back of a cab going to the nativity play, and then the child wearing an octopus just sat there. So yeah, octopus would be good. I got a pumpkin. I got a pumpkin with leaves. Oh, sweet. Oh, you got a better costume there, Sakaya, for sure. Critter. Let's roll for critter, shall we? Might as well. I got. So I'm gonna put that as 36. 63. 63 is a lynx. Ooh, that's quite nice. But 36. A peacock. Oh, 100%. I want to be a peacock. Amazing. That's pretty cool. I like that. Just looking at some of the other ones here. We've got wolf, monkey, weasel, heron. Makes me think of, the boy, the mole, the fox, and the horse, that sort of thing. Man, could you imagine playing out like a Charlie McCabe, the boy, the mole, the fox? This would be so sad, and also very wholesome as well. Nice. Oh, hopes. Oh, sorry, there's more. There's more. I just put away my dice, and I didn't realize there was more things for me to do. So hopes and fears. All right, so we'll do hopes first. So I got 6. So to understand your body. Oh, I see. So I see. Right. So we do the first one. So it goes to 6. So it's actually the second column. So 6, and then I got 3 to learn about the world. Nice. If it was the other way around, it would be to understand my body. Oh, I like that. That's quite good. Right, let's roll for fears. Let's put these 2 columns again. I got 2 6s there. So authority. I fear authority. Amazing. And again, what a great. I love the little image, but again, no alt text. Oh, I didn't see that before. She's reading. Oh, this individual here is reading the Babies in the Wood book. That's super. Okay, we won't go into too much detail about the basic moves. I don't want to go. Again, we can look at this in our own time because usually they're good. But what we've got here. We've got 6 here on this page of basic moves. We've got take a gander, thwart mischief, always, scoot away, console, brace yourself, and talk it out. I like it. And we've got some really cool triggers here. So when you take a second to survey your surroundings, roll plus noodle. When you craft a trap, cause a distraction, pull a prank, or otherwise introduce a physical calamity to the situation, roll plus steam. When you attempt to escape from someone or something, roll plus steam. When you take a moment in a safe place to make another kid feel better, describe what you do and then roll plus friendship with that character. When you prepare yourself for incoming harm, describe how you intend to block or deter the pain and roll plus noodle. And talk it out. When you hesitate out of anxiety, anger, or other emotional reason, voice your concerns and roll plus mush. Nice. And it looks like on all of these, the misses you always mark, or at least these 5 here, not the console, you add a 1 XP. Let's say for console, describe how something interferes in it. Oh, in the temple of your head. Oh, that's so sad. Yeah, you mend a relevant harm on that character. Nice. Oh, I lied. There's more of these basic moves. Take a friend, team up, face your fears, sue hope, catchphrase, make a wish, and then expend XP. Okay. So when you attempt to make a friend with one of the folks, describe how you do so, and roll plus mush. Team up, describe how you help them. So, oh yeah, that's the sort of team move, like giving someone advantage in a way. Oh, it uses your friendship. That's pretty good. I like that. When face your fear. When you use another move to act in direct defiance of your fear, take a deep breath and roll with disadvantage. Ooh, I like that one. Ooh. Pursue hope. When you successfully resolve one of the folks' problems and/or make a significant realization about yourself, voice it and gain +1 hope. Catchphrase. You have a specific turn of phrase that you repeat often that brings joy, wisdom, or humor, or eye rolls to those around you. Once per hollow, when you say it, gain 1 wish. And yet, here we go. After rolling for a move, you may spend 1 wish to change the result to a result of your choosing. Oh, I like that. So it doesn't have to be like bump it up the success level. It could just literally be, no, actually, I do want to fail this one. I like that. And then here we've got the XP stuff. So either 2 XP, gain associated benefits of reroll all dice, get a +1 wish, unlock a special move with 4 XP, and then +1 stat to your choice. Oh, nice. So yeah, I like that. So they're very simple, like simple way of leveling up. That's quite good. That's interesting. More opportunities to get XP than many Powered by the Apocalypse games, but you can already also spend it in play. Yeah, absolutely. And it's not about just the character sheet. It could be like, oh, I'm going to re-roll all the dice now and use that up. I like currency. I like game mechanics that you have that resource to spend it and not wait around for it. So yeah, you could wait and then unlock that special move if you want, or add a stat to it, but then you got some use for it in game as well. That's cool. Okay, so additional rules. How are we doing on time? Oh, we've done about an hour. That's good. So when you describe using an item to aid in an attempt, add a +1 to the die result, increasing your chances you'll succeed. Then, regardless of the result, mark one use of that item. Most items begin with 3 uses as represented by the candy corn segments on your character sheet. How clever! That's quite good, isn't it? When you acquire a new item in play, the narrator will tell you if it has less than 3 uses available due to the state you found it. Excuse me. After its third and final use, erase an item from your sheet, or erase the item from your sheet, and describe how the item is lost as a result of the move. Any items you begin the game with does not follow this rule and can be used as many times as you would like. You may lose or deliberately give away a special item during your story, but it will not break for repeated use. If you do elect to abandon your special item, the narrator may present you with a new one if it makes sense in the story's fiction. Again, I like that. I would just say, again, I know I went on it before, I like this idea. If you got a signature item, have a space for it and then don't have it coloured in. Or don't have it, like, just have it as one candy corn. I like the little colours. Okay. Additional rules are genius plans. Occasionally, it will make sense for all your kids to try tackling an obstacle together. This will likely require a genius plan, a group move where kids combine their strengths for a better chance at success and a shared positive outcome. When a player declares they like to attempt a genius plan, the story hits pause whilst the details of the plan are sorted out. The player who initiated the plan declares their intent and each kid says how their character could help in a unique way, choosing a move of theirs that best fits the assistants. Each kid rolls dice for their individual move, tracking successes and misses, whilst Renegade Studios just told me I was really great. Just because I bought some stuff from them earlier. Where was I? So choosing a move did it. So tracking the successes and moves whilst the story is still on pause. If at least half kids get successes on their rolls, the genius plan is going to work. If less than half the rolls succeed, the plan falls apart. Now, resuming play, narrate your character's actions and dialogue. Go around in turns describing your contributions to the plan, positive and negative, with your roles in mind. Since you know the individual successes and failures of the plan already, you can revel in the tension or drama, or lean into the slapstick antics as things spiral hilariously out of control. Once the genius plan has concluded, though, the narrator describes its fallout in regards to the story. Genius plans should be used infrequently, and only in situations such as tackling larger threats, reaching the climax of a particular narrative arc, or confronting others, especially significant issues in the story. Results of a genius plan should be conclusive in a way that the players can't just try again in the event of failure. They're used to definitely confront things for better or worse. I really like this, and I'm looking at hello, Sam Size, hello friend. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good day. Excuse me. Right. So yeah, genius plans. What I like about this, so often in games, we like to plan what's going to happen, and then as soon as we get into combat, and looking at you, D&D, it goes right, and you've wasted like half an hour plotting what you're going to do. And then all the rules out the window. Here, it's like, okay, here's the genius plan. We're going to plot out what happens. We're going to roll for success right now of what you said. And then we're going to go through and narrate what happens. And then I like that because it's very collaborative as a storytelling thing. And it also means that people can really relish in like the results they got. Like, especially if you got a really bad result. I love going, I'm helping, and then it doesn't work. I thought that, I like that. I like the idea. And also that it should be used frequently in only situations. So yeah, so again, maybe the narrator should be a bit like, hey, it sounds like you're putting a plan together. Maybe a genius plan. So I guess, again, it's very hard to put a number on this, but maybe once or twice per story, perhaps, or per arc, just to give a rough idea. Ooh. Making wishes. So everyone receives one wish mark on their playbook during character creation, and may collect additional wishes through play, storing up to 2. wishes are powerful and exist in a space between the story and our characters, or of our characters, and the real life conversation of the players. And they are earned through specific moves by spending XP or by reaching certain benchmarks in your story. A player may spend one of their wishes to alter the results of the move they are taking immediately after the roll. They then get to decide which result is occurring, choosing from those listed on the move. When making a wish, you should describe your character wishing for their circumstances to change. This could be as simple as closing their eyes and taking a deep breath whilst envisioning the future as complex, as complex as uttering a superstitious poem or anything in between. Erase the spent wish file from your playbooks and continue play from there. Using a wish always results in your desired outcome. It is a powerful tool and should be used sparingly. The randomness of the dice combined with your moves' outcomes drives the story, so you don't want to disrupt it too much. That said, this is your story, and sometimes things should go how you want them to. Ooh, again, for me, as a player, I always like failing. I like failing and not being able to get that, because that gives drama, that gives story, it gives development. Here, it kind of just says like what you want to do, but it doesn't suggest that, oh, you do succeed at the thing. You're like, I want to use a wish to fail at it instead and choose what you want. So I think maybe we could highlight that a little bit more. That's definitely something you could do, right? Maybe people don't want to do that, but I want to do that. Okay. Excuse me. On harm. So kids can acquire harm from attempting or failing particular moves or from particular story moments as dictated by the narrator. Kids never receive harm arbitrarily, though. It's always a consequence of particular actions. So when you receive harm, mark it in your character sheet, which is here, in your little sweeties. Ooh, I just saw these. It's a bit small, that writing, but it says, can't spend XP, disadvantage, and incapacitated. That's pretty bad if you get one harm. You can't spend the XP to re-roll stuff. Ooh. Sorry. Mark it in the character sheet and use a word or phrase to describe the harm's nature. Where would you put the word there? Keep it in mind that there are no mechanical distinctions between mental, physical, or emotional pain that you can only receive, and that you can only receive one harm at a time. Yeah. When you have one harm, you may not spend any of the XP until it is healed. When you have two harm, you receive disadvantage on all your rolls until you are healed, and then if you have 3 accumulative harm, your kid is incapacitated until they are healed. This means you are effectively taken out of the story until your pain is tended by another character. You still may talk with your fellow players and their characters, but can't attempt moves until healed. 3rd degree harm needs to be attended to as soon as possible. Whilst you can be the subject of different types of harm on your journey, the kids do not die in this game. That's good. That's good. It makes total sense that you would not. Again, it's a children's story, right? But as you play, again, we kind of talked about this XP stuff. We've actually already covered this here, but I guess it's a quick reference guide here, so we don't need to go through this too much. When you accumulated enough XP, just simply erase it from the playbook. Can't store more than 7 XP as designated by the portions of the hard candy in your playbook. So here. Yeah. If you are RSMP, you must spend some before you're able to collect some more. And then, at the end of session rewards, at the end of a session of play, talk with your group about your favourite parts of the story told and share any hopes or expectations for what might happen in future sessions. Answer the following questions for your kid and gain 1 XP for each yes answer. Did someone help when they were in need? Did you help someone when they were in need? Did something you did make another person laugh out loud? Did you reveal a secret of your own or a secret of someone else's? Did you come face to face with a fiend or one of its agents? Did you have a good time? So those 5 questions there, they're nice. And I see that it's going to say if you ended the session with 0 wishes, gain 1 wish for next time. That's quite nice. I do find though this sort of checking out way. Hello, Hunter. Nice to see you, my friend. I think the thing is that with these sort of these are sort of basically sort of the stars and wishes, sort of checkout, debrief stuff. I don't know if I like having XP for that sort of thing. It's something that I know Powered by Apocalypse Games does. But yeah, did something you make did something you did make someone else laugh out loud? I think you shouldn't get XP for that. You get inspirations. I don't know. Uh, I understand I feel like these questions are more of a checkout questions, perhaps. I don't know because you had these questions in the between us of like, did you do what you set out to do? Did you follow something? And if these are all the same questions for the kids as well, there's nothing particularly special about your playbook. Yeah, there's nothing. It's just one page. Yeah, it'd be nice to have like individual questions because that's the thing in Powered by the Pocket. You have two questions, often the same, and then you can choose between sessions different questions you can ask as a way to motivate and change your motivations. But again, it's such a small niggle on that front. On that front. All right, hollows. Under a silver moon, I can't beat that at all. Skeleton clock out a familiar time for the fancy folks of the. I'm gonna have to zoom in on this. Sorry. Ouch! I was trying to zoom in. To the fancy footfalls of the cat procession through the town, a small shop filled with treats, run by a scarecrow with her feet, and a young sparrow who needs help mending her gown. You guys can't see it. Well, there you go. Gown. Your witch toads cajole blushing beats whose eyes they do roll. As the mayor implores you to help find his lost crown. Okay. Man, I wish there was a. I do wish there was like alt text for that. I can't read it at all. It kind of promotes a lot of goofing around, which can be fun, but could detract from the story. Yeah, I guess with it's like, yeah, it is supposed to be like Adventure Time-esque sort of things, but yeah, I guess. I would say that compared to other games, which I know sets like the tone of stuff, like Good Society does it quite well, saying what's the tone of the game? Here's the default tone. Here's the super serious tone. Here's the frolicking japes one. What's the one? A fast one. So I think that would always be good for something like this, which clearly can have different tones, but still use the same vibes. Okay, so hollows. So scattered amongst the ever-expanding forest are small clearings, towns, and homes, and other centers of respite called hollows. Hollows are populated by many other denizens of the wood: dancing vegetables, curious farmers, crafty witches, meddlesome kittens, and more. Each hollows carries out a particular way of life, generally isolated from other hollows and always disconnected from the outside world. Whilst these strangers may initially seem unusual, kids quickly realize that they are all regular people with problems and aspirations just like them. The characters kids meet along the way are controlled by the narrator, and they would be called NPCs in games, but we refer to them as folks. When creating folks, the narrator should keep them simple enough to easily portray and open-ended enough to adapt to the player's interest. There's no numbers associated with folks either. Oh, thank goodness for that. Instead, the folks should have enough traits and thoughts listed to give you what you need. The rest can be improvised through play. Like kids, often folks can be defined by listing things they have, want, or fear. For example, meet Gretchen Block. Middle-aged woman, warm, wants to be an excellent host and raise kids of her own, fears the fiend's influence and coming winter. With just this much detail, the narrator can easily portray Gretchen as a kindly caretaker who will offer a safe space to nap, or as forbidding kids from leaving her homestead out of fear. This lets the narrator use Gretchen to present either problems or solutions, allowing them to adapt to however the kids react. Nice. I like that. Although that image is terrifying. So I'm just gonna move it ever so slightly so you can. There you go. That's a little bit easier to read, isn't it? When kids enter a hollow for the first time, the narrator describes the sights, sounds, and smells prominent in the area. This includes buildings, plant growths, folks, and other set dressing that helps set the stage for adventure to come. Whilst the narrator is welcome to offer as many interesting details as they like, they should make sure to clearly present at least 3 story hooks for the players to investigate and potentially become entangled with. Some pre-designed hollows in this book have storybooks built in, which is later on. But when coming up with your own, considering the following hooks, I've got interesting people, glistening treasures, events, and noteworthy locations. That is so scary. Right, I know, like, again, these creatures with smiles above. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna enhance. Ready? Enhance. Oh, dead cold eyes. Oh no, I've ruined everything as usual. There we go. I will say it's nice to have the image not pixelated too much. You can see it's a little bit there, but like even zooming in at what we're on. That's 600. So yeah, 400. Terrifying. And these pumpkins and the potato also terrifying. No! Oh, you have to see it. Look. Come, stay at the homestead. Don't worry. There's a nice warm bed for you. Alright, I'll zoom out, don't worry. I've ruined it. No. There we go. Alright, there we go. Everyone can see it. So, interesting people. So, citizens of a hollow may be eccentric, suspicious, friendly, or afraid, but they should all be available to interact with the kids. Present the kids with one or more folks that piques their curiosity and lets them pursue the connections that interest them most. Glistering treasures. The hollows are always full of enticing goodies. It may be they're magical, edible, natural, artificial, or otherwise. But one or more treasures just within eyesight upon arrival, and the kids won't be able to resist the allure. Present a simple glimpse of an item just often enough for an excitable character to get the group on a much longer path, for better or for worse. It's got a little bit of a Spirited Away vibe. Yes, it does, doesn't it? Absolutely, yeah, proper Studio Ghibli-esque type vibe. Events. So while today may look like any old day to the kids, it's a special day for the Hollow. A celebration, a holiday, a ritual, or some other event that could always be happening right around the corner. Let the kids catch wind of something out of the ordinary and see if they follow up. And finally, we've got noteworthy locations. So every hollow is unique, but even then, some landmarks stand out more than others. Maybe the weather vanes grow like sunflowers in one corner. Oh, I like that. Whilst a magnificent castle fills the other. Make kids aware of the most eye-catching elements in an area and see where their feet carry them. I love the idea of like weather vanes that grow like sunflowers. That's cool. Right, problems. So in each hollow, the kids will be tasked with helping folks deal with various issues they're having. These range from simple concerns like fixing a broken stove in time for dinner, or much serious troubles like finding a missing loved one. Why are so many people going missing? These dilemmas are split into big and little problems. Little problems, so everyone could use a helping hand from time to time, and as such, nearly everyone in a given hollow has a little problem that could use some assistance with. Generally even, these are tasks that would typically handle on their own, but won't say no to someone making it a little easier either. Wait, wouldn't say no to someone making a little easier either. Making it a little easier, I think is what it's supposed to say. Little problems are fun detours in your story as opposed to the narrative-shaping adventures of big problems. They tend to be received and resolved within the same hollow and seldom require travelling through the wood to overcome. Little problems usually focus on individuals as opposed to hollow-wide issues and impact folks' happiness rather than their safety or other weighty concerns. They usually have simple solutions with little impact, but sometimes a little problem can become a big problem after a series of misfortunes, or be a big problem in disguise all along. So examples we've got here is that wanting a fresh haircut to impress a crush. I mean, I don't know, that could easily be a big problem. I mean, my hair's not brilliant right now, but ridding a group of mice from the pantry. Finding a missing hat in a cluttered home. And overcoming stage fright before a big show. Oh, I like those ones. They're very sort of like lots of different ways to solve them. Now we've got big problems. When folks in the hollows are overwhelmed, threatened, or just really upset, they are likely dealing with a big problem. These are not easy to resolve and will require investigation, planning, and a creative teamwork on the kids' parts. Big problems don't always require immediate attention, instead permeating throughout a hollow whilst kids solve little problems and explore until it is impossible to ignore. Some big problems will even necessitate traveling to other hollows, creating openings for the fiend along the way. Solving a big problem often changes the status quo of a hollow, so generally there won't be any more little problems requiring the kids' attention once it's solved. Once the big problem is squashed, the kids should wrap up any loose ends and travel to the next hollow shortly afterwards. Here we've got, as examples, find a missing teacher while keeping students occupied, or resolving the case of the hollow's chronic desert shortage. I mean, that sounds like an awful problem. I will absolutely go solve that. Bring back the rain to a hollow experiencing drought, and eradicating a town-wide ghost infestation. Ooh, I like that. Some really good examples there. It would be nice, again, I presume, maybe later we have some random tables for examples of problems that we could use. Ooh. Problems don't come with pre-made solutions. There may seem to be an unseemingly obvious answer to a problem, but that doesn't mean it's obvious to the kids. Sometimes they will even reject solutions for being too obvious. Rather than plan for an unexpected course of action, be prepared to go with the flow and find out what happens, whether through a conventional or not, or out-of-the-box approach. Ah, excellent. There's my foundry. Hooray. Solving problems is often a goal, but learning about your characters and having a fun time is the ultimate goal of play. This story is about the kid's journey, not necessarily the destination. Marking progress. Kids are likely to collect a few ongoing problems at a time, and solving them whenever it makes sense for their story. The narrator can use a sheet just provided on page 52, which I'm guessing is going to be here. Yep, problems here. Again, not form fillable, that's okay. Or a series of notes to track ongoing problems and progress the kids have made towards their resolution. A problem can be represented by an objective title followed by a series of marks. A completely new problem will be paired with a number of circles representing steps of success the kids must make to solve the problem. When the kids make a noteworthy step towards the problem solution, well, whatever the solution or however abstract the approach may be, fill in one of the open circles. Yeah. If the kids instead make a mistake, such as destroying an item needed for their proposed solution, the narrator can add additional hollow circles to the problem to show there is more work to be done before a resolution can be reached. Little problems begin with only 1 to 2 circles, whilst big problems have 3 to 5. What warrants filling in and adding circles is subjective and up to the narrator, or group consensus if not using a narrator. And while kids should aim to help those around them, that isn't the only purpose of their journey. Unsolved or growing problems should not be treated as liabilities or punishments, but rather potential plot points to circle back on if players decide to. Unsolved problems that do re-enter the story should always create interesting opportunities for the kids though, and not an opportunity to chastise them. Some problems can be time sensitive too, like making a fancy dress in time for a big dance. That's weird texting there. So weird. I have done something. I don't know what I've done. Since the time in the wood is abstracted, a day can take place over multiple sessions of play or over in 10 minutes as the dance quickly approaches. Marks and circles are not measures of time, but rather the amount of work and effort the kids put in to consider a problem taken care of. More narrator-specific advice, yada yada yada, we can see. How am I doing on time? Yeah, about half an hour. Wood. Oh, first of all, what a great costume. Love that. Oh, let's have a... I'm going to attempt to read. We'll find out. Oh, Lord. Through the woods we go. Where it ends, we do not know. Something hollow far or near. Oh, the next hollow far or near will be there before our footsteps exhaust. With much laughter and jest, we set off on our own quest. Oh, what secret and tales, we'll have shared once we've crossed. But it's not all such a lark as the fiend creeps in the dark. So we hold hands and hold tight. Last one of us was to get lost. Oh, that makes no sense. God, all I need is a little bit of text there. Unreadable. So next. Ooh. The wood is a mysterious place. It does not follow nature's typical rules. The sun simply stays out until it is tired, and then the moon takes its shift. When leaves fall from the trees, sometimes they drift slower than you'd expect. Other times they drop like a bag of bricks. Creatures jump from one tree to another only to find themselves landing on the same branch they just left. Mapping the woods is impossible, and there's no reliable way to navigate it. As Hollow residents will tell you, though, you'll always end up where you're supposed to be. Nice. I love the little drawing here as well of all, like, again, the way you could map it. It's like it's all higgledy-piggledy. I like that a lot. Ooh, the woods move. So every hollow is connected by the wood. Whenever kids leave a hollow, they enter the wood. When the wood when the wood decides they are ready to leave, they find an exit. Traveling through the wood to the next hollow requires a special move, the wood. I think a little bit of copy editing on this would have been better. It is performed exactly once per exploration, and only one kid rolls for the wood move between the hollows. A kid may not roll the wood move again until all the other kids have done so. Nice, I like that. Like a dedicated scout option. When you wander through the wood, describe how your fear is made present, literally or figuratively, and roll fear plus hope. So this would minus fear plus hope. So here, so if you have, depending on how much hope, and depending on how much fear, so if it's -3 plus 2, you'll be re-rolling with a -1. On a +10, you see a clearing ahead and can safely emerge from the forest depths. You also notice something that seems like fun. You may choose an unmarked distraction from the list below. I wonder if this is in the narrator's distractions? Oh, I don't know where you'd find that. Investigate it with your friends, then mark it on a sheet of paper. When all the distractions are marked, erase them and start over. On a mixed success, the forest twists and turns before you, making it difficult to travel. Choose another kid to pull aside and confide in. Get a +1 friendship towards you. Choose an unmarked topic from the following list, then mark it. When all the topics are marked, erase them and start. Another kid is making you upset. You have a secret you've avoided admitting to. And on a 6 or less, you are separated from the group. Oh man, I'm confronted by the fiend. No. After resolving the prompt offered by using this move, the group immediately exits the woods into the new hollow. Ooh, on a 15 plus, why isn't this up here? You see a path that leads out of the woods to a familiar place near your home. Characters with 5 hope may exit the wood and return home. Ooh, wow. I love it, but also that's quite sad in a way. Like, so rare that you get to do that. Massive gap here. Why is there a massive gap here? Why can't we have some art here? Distractions. Distractions are fun times between hollows. These moments of wonder and goofiness are often fleeting, so kids should make the most of them. There's no mechanical incentive to engage with a distraction, and no need to perform moves. They simply describe the kids' actions and conversations as they have fun. There is no time limit, just indulge in a moment of distraction until you feel like entering the next hollow. Oh, nice, I like that. Sometimes the events you encounter, the folks you meet, or the items you find during a distraction will set you on a longer path that points you towards a particular objective. If that path does not sound fun, though, you can always go in a different direction and trust the wood and the narrator to get you where you're supposed to go. Confiding. So when you walk through the wood, you'll be offered moments to confide in a fellow kid, strengthening your friendship whilst getting things off your chest. These are often dramatic moments, admitting your fears or shortcomings or confronting someone about theirs. When they confide in another kid, remember the safety tools established at the start of play to avoid a conversation getting too intense or going in a direction someone doesn't appreciate. These confiding moments are a key part of the game. They allow you to more deeply understand the motivations of your kids and explore their relationships. Sometimes kids fight. Other times they make up. Using confiding to create or ease tension in your party and let those loaded conversations impact the way you treat one another in the hollows. Yeah, I like that a lot. Whoa! Terrifying. The fiend. Alright, I'm gonna have to zoom in a little. Good lord. It's tiny, but very beautiful little writing. There lurks in the darkness unseen, in the woods and the places between, tales of a fiend, a thing made of malice, and uh, the sweet lies its state. A shadow that moves a little too wrong. Unlucky these sways, the unlucky these swayed by its unlucky those swayed by its song. Um, lost who it once was, now hollow puppets doomed to be pulled by its strings. So keep safe in the wood and mind the tricks of those who are up to no good, lest you face the fiend and find yourself joining in the woe that it brings. I do like these little bits of lore and a little bit. I love the images. Just can't read the text at all. That is terrifying, though. Anything with silhouettes and like eyes like that. Whoop, great, love that. Again, it gives that idea of like there's nothing. That's all great here. Oh, let me move this. Oh no, I've ruined it. Ruined. There we go, fiend. Can we seal that? Yeah, we can seal that. So you guys got it. Right. The fiend is the embodiment of fear. It wanders the wood and manipulates both the denizens and travelers for its own gain or to sow chaos. Spoken in hushed tones, rumors and tales of the fiend abound, but very few are unfortunate enough to come face to face with the thing itself. Those who do are changed, dragging panic and dismay with them to each hollow. The fiend operates from the safety of the shadows behind tall trees and, oh god, obfuscated by brush? Obfuscated, yeah. Even when addressing its would-be victims, it prefers to be hidden or masked, and its true form is still unknown. Instead, it presents itself as corrupted creatures of the forest, dark, purple-cloaked people just off the path, or blurry apparitions of darkness in the corner of your sight. Its voice is heard within your head, unknown to those around you, and you are made aware of the fiend's presence when it wants you to be. By that point, it is often too late. A little bit of water left. Thanks. Shadows. The fiend employs a network of rascals and pawns that enact its ill will called shadows. The fiend is never seen in the hollows, but shadows sometimes are. They do the fiend's dirty work, such as heckling hollows, collecting debts, wreaking havoc, and otherwise disrupting the folks' peace. Shadows come in various forms, from lowly beasts to full-grown adults, and anywhere in between. Generally speaking, the larger the shadow, the more impactful their presence. But this does not always correlate with their commitment to serve the fiend. Some are tricked into carrying out the fiend's wishes. Others are tarnished by fear and anger. Others can be rescued or brought back from the fiend's influence, but be wary of those who are too far gone to be reasoned with. The fiend's shadows can be encountered at any stage, whether in the hollows or on the paths between. Some will be searching for kids, whilst others might have tasks or preoccupations of their own. In either case, shadows are a great tool for adding some tension to your story. There's even a mode of play where you can forego a traditional narrator role and let the players insert their own shadows to create conflict in the game. Oh, that must be what this playbook is. Nice. Ah, okay. Fiends and its shadows do not have stats. Moves, health point, moves or health points. Shadows instead complicate problems the group has set out to solve by mirroring the kids' fears. To overcome shadows and shadows' influence, the kids must persevere and help the people of the woods by being forces of good and light. These sinister beings thrive on their ability to wreak havoc, and the best thing kids can do in defiance of this hostility is to care for one another and those they encounter. Ooh, I've got some examples here. Well, let's talk to Winnipeg. Absolutely. So Winnipeg the Scarecrow Sleepy wants a tasty breakfast and a place to rest, has a never-ending itch. Winnipeg awoke one autumn morning, stiff, sore, and tied to a board in a field whilst a murder of crows hovered over making jokes. Winnipeg didn't care much for being away, but what choice did they have? Craving breakfast. Winnipeg broke away from the boards, propping them up, and crept towards the town in search of the perfect egg sandwich. The townsfolk didn't take kindly to Winnipeg. Most kept at cautious distance, and those who got too close were given an unending itch from contact with Winnipeg's brittle hay. Winnipeg was rushed out of town and now wanders the hollows in search of eggs, acceptance, and a nice spot to go back to sleep, oblivious of the scratchy skins and scared crows left in their wake. Ooh, I like that. That's pretty cool, isn't it? One thing I'd say, it would be nice to have, again, not that you need it at all, particularly, but I would assume Winnipeg is they, them. But it'd be nice to have some pronouns as some suggested ones. I like that. I like that. That feels very Howl's Moving Castle, doesn't it? With what's it called? Onion Head, Pumpkin Head. It's been a while since I've watched that film. I like the 3 examples here. That's quite good. And then we've got some theme moves. So face off, find a clue, aha, summon darkness. Oh, these are ones that players can do. Right. Oh, so those are 4 moves there. I see. Ooh, interesting. Okay. And then home. Okay, I'm gonna try and read this one out. How would we do? Oh, this will do. Okay, on time. Okay. The woods now long gone. Slowly melt into the dawn, and tired feet take us through the streets back to our homes. Our minds heavy with dreams, see things not as they seem. As the streets twist and wind like the woods we did find or saw. Though things may look strange, we barely have changed, save for our own hollow heads now, stuffed with kindling and loam. Again, dear, oh dear. Alright, let's see. How would I do that? 26 pages left. Might be able to do it. Outside the wood, our world beckons lost children to return. Mere moments after going missing, a kid may stumble back into their reality in whatever condition it was left in, for better or for worse, as if nothing had ever occurred. What has changed, however, is their perspective, influenced by people and places they saw in the wood. Most kids see returning home as their ultimate goal whilst navigating the wood, but it's not easily attained. To exit the wood, a kid must first realise who they are, and this can be accomplished in a variety of ways depending on your style of play. If you're playing multiple sessions in a campaign style, returning to the home is the finale and epilogue to your story. When rolling the wood move, you must roll 15 or higher to gain a glimpse at home through the thick forest. Obviously, with 2d6 dice, rolling a 15 is not possible. So you need to reduce your fear and increase your hope to achieve such a result. Once you've seen the path home, any kids with 5 hope may leave. Some kids may wish to stay in the wood forever, and that is fine. Others may wish to stay with their friends and help them increase their hope so they might leave together, and that is great too. Be sure to consult your fellow players when the end is drawing near on whether you want to continue exploring the hollows on playing the game, or if you prefer to wrap up your story with a nice definitive ending. If you all choose the latter option, feel free to bend the rule about needing 5 hope to leave, and allowing all kids the opportunity to have a satisfying epilogue. For a single session play, you may forego the pretense of rolling the wood move when you leave your last hollow, and instead play as if every player had 5 hope and someone rolled a 15 plus on the wood move. The group or the narrator will potentially have made this decision before play, with the understanding that your group would not be engaging in a multi-session story arc, especially if you're playing at a convention or in a short-term situation. If you started with the expectation of only playing 1 session but decided to keep going on, don't leave the wood just yet. Simply refer back to the multiple session rules for exiting the wood. Yes, that makes sense. Ooh, epilogues. Let's zoom out a little bit and move it over. So, when your journey reaches the ending, whether your kid returns home or not, each player is given an opportunity to conclude their story in a satisfying or dramatic way. Each player will offer a brief seed or vignette, focusing on their kids after the events of the woods. So each kid rolls 2d6 before telling their epilogue. Unlike the rest of the game, keep these values separate instead of adding them together. Each will give you a prompt to interpret for 2 monologue scenes. Oh, I see. So 5 to 6 is a moment of happiness. Describe your kid experiencing joy. They've earned it. This can be a scene connecting with loved ones, pursuing something that they've always wanted, giving or receiving a gift, making a profound realization, or anything else. A 3 to 4 is a memory of the wood. Describe how something has happened to your kid whilst the wood still resonates with them. This can be a glimpse of something or someone that seems out of place, an event that seems to rhyme with an experience they had, or call back to a joke they made, or a catchphrase you developed, or anything else. And then a 1 to 2 is a frightful shiver. Describe your kid experiencing or confronting something scary once more. This can be the fear they suffered from whilst wandering through the wood, or something unrelated. This can be a scene of confrontation, overcoming a fright, succumbing to a fear they thought they were past, a twist that implies that the fiend may not be done with them, or anything else. Each player should deliver one epilogue at a time, going around the group in a circle one by one before performing their second epilogue. You can describe thoughts, actions, locations, and establishing shots for these moments, or you can choose to act them out in character, allowing your fellow players to act in as any folks you want to interact with. Oh, that's quite nice. Once each player has given both their epilogues, the story has concluded. And then we've got some guiding principles for being the narrator. That's fine. We don't necessarily need to read all of those, but I do like how it's like A, B, C there, like as like again going to that sort of children's fairy tale book. Oh, it really goes. Oh, okay, I was gonna say, is it gonna go from all the alphabet? No, it goes up to G. G is go with the flow. F is frighten when appropriate. Then we've got some narrator moves here as well. Reveal the fiend's presence, entice, ask about feelings, refresh, hold back, cut away, plant clues, omens, scare, inflict harm, create danger, offer a choice. The narrator primarily describes the setting and the actions of the folks, the fiend and the shadows, but they have moves at their disposal to keep the story moving as well. We don't require dice rolls, fantastic. They simply happen in the narrative and the kids react accordingly. Whenever a player rolls a -6 on a roll, the energy and the interest in the scene starts to dip, you may take any of these following actions. It says here, most moves have a story beats built into the 6 or less rolls, so the miss rolls. Work with the player who rolled the move to elaborate on these prompts and decide what to do next, whether or not it involves using a narrator. One thing I would say, we'll go into that in a second. These look like general moves. You can use anything. Often, Powered by the Pockets games, they have that sort of distinct categorization of like, here's a list of soft moves, and here's a list of hard moves. And soft moves are the idea like they change the story, but they don't necessarily impact the players too much. Hard moves are ones that they damage the players. Like usually it's like inflict harm. Here it's them all together. One thing my sort of advice is that inflict harm one, don't hurt them. Don't hurt them all the time, otherwise they don't want to. Wait a minute. Is this book not screen readable? Oh, it's not. I didn't even realize that. Oh, no, it must be. Yes, it is. I don't know. I didn't pick it up for a second. Anyway, going back to what I was saying. The inflict harm stuff, like, don't use that every time as a narrator move, because otherwise it's no fun for everyone getting harm put on them. Yeah. Then we've got the narrator sheet, which we have here as well. Oh, that's where you got the moves on here as well. That's quite good. And yeah, it's got it here as well, so at the top. Oh, so being a narrator can sometimes feel like a lot of responsibility. Luckily, kids will often excitedly take the story in directions you can never expect on their own, so you will frequently just need to react to their actions. To aid organizing information, however, you can use in narration. To aid in organizing information, however, you can use the narrator sheet supplied at the end of the book. So here's the example here. It's got your moves, got your area for the kids' names. You can write down their fears and hopes for quick reference, which is probably quite good. You can also ask the kids anytime, clarify. Below is a section for tracking folk you create and problems. So that's fine. C is there. Last thing on the left is a table for quickly generating new folks and locations. Ooh, excellent. Nice. I like that. Yeah, I'm just going to see what kind of... Oh, I like that's very simple, straightforward. Just a couple of, like, literally a word prompt to, like, do a hollow and stuff like that. That's quite nice. I guess... Again, I wish it was form fillable. I don't know. I think also... I can't imagine having a... Maybe this is the sort of game that would benefit from like a GM screen. I don't know. And then we've got composing a problem, like what kind of problems we can do. That's quite good to have that sort of advice. And we've got rules for playing without a narrator. Again, we're not going to look at that too much because that goes for the shared move of these shadow moves here, right? Maybe we should do the shadow move first. Oh, here's an example of a hollow. dog. So good. With examples of like locations or landmarks that got some problems. I like how it says like this is a big problem, small problem underneath. Terrifying, absolutely terrifying, otherworldly Thurston. Unknown age and species wants to impress their audience, fears the truth of being revealed, needs to get paid and leave town. Terrifying. Ah, this is the way it comes to the rare move stuff as well. So for this particular hollow of Lonesbury, we've got a rare move of Magician's Apprentice that can be used. I like that. Morning Gate. Oh, the cat marriage thing I was talking about earlier. Yes, excellent. Whitley Den. 3 and create your own hollows. So we've got 3 hollows, and then we've got ones to make our own hollows, which is quite nice as well. Oh yeah, like welcome to. Okay, let's do this. Get the dice out again. Also, what's great, I mean, and maybe quite obvious to powered by the Apocalypse systems, it just uses d6. Everyone should have a d6 somewhere. Should do it at least, or at least know what one looks like. So we are welcome to 2, and I got a 5. So Bliss. Oh, 2 4s there. That's it. Bliss Thicket. Welcome to Bliss Thicket. We've had no accidents for 2 days. We are known for culture. It is currently daytime, and the weather is temperate. Our town is full of fish who reside in a shared structure. Ooh, and who love drama. Those fish all sharing one household. Like, you won't believe what the landlord has done. Oh, and there's problems, of course. Sorry, there's more, but I like this. So we've got 35 there. An old statue moves when no one's looking. For 53, we have I need an important letter being delivered. Nice. Folks' names. I've got, let's say the landlord is someone called, first column there. Oh, Milt. Oh, rubbish. Oh, and shadows. Oh, we do have a thing for shadows as well. 2, so first column, and then it is a 3, so a saddened parent. Ooh, great though. I like that. It's just simple, straightforward, like little random tables, but you've got a lot from there, and of course, easily make your own as well. And then we've got the playbooks. I think that's it, isn't it? The only thing I'd say, it didn't say that you have to follow this per se. Or at least I don't think I caught it. I'll go back to it in a second. And we've got the shadow moves, and the narrator, and then the end of the book there. Okay, let me just go back to character creation. I just want to double check if it said to follow the add stuff to it. Ah, there we go. No! Oh no! No! Okay. A. Okay. Each of your stats has a number assigned to it between +1, -1 and 2. Wait. No, it doesn't. Oh, I see. Each of your stats will have a number assigned to it between either -1, -1, 2, -1 and 2. Right, so then you have, between the 3, you have a -1, a 0, and a 2, right? That's what it's trying to say. Higher numbers mean that you're better at those results. And lower numbers, stats will change. I missed something. It's like, this toy playbook, it says +1 to here, and then -1 to anything else. So I presume, oh, maybe it's this, maybe it'll be like +1 mush, and then either a 0 and then a -1 to noodle, or vice versa. So maybe that's what it's talking about. That's not super obvious. I'll say that now. Let me see what another playbook says. Because it sounds like from that chat earlier, each of your stats will have a number assigned to it, right? Which you can find in this section at the top here. Let me look at another one then. let's do Wood's Child. So here it's +1 to any and -1 to any. Right. What about Critters? That was the other one that has a slightly different, right? Oh, it says. Yeah, but Critters aren't supposed to have items. That's the other thing as well. It says +1 to Noodle and then no special item. Right. Oh no, they do have items, they don't have special items. That's okay, so yeah, the instructions are here. Right, okay, I think I got that. Alright, okay. Well, there you go. So we've almost come to the end, fantastic. So, what do we think? What do we have a quick review of this? So first of all, it's a gorgeous book. There's no denying that. I love the artwork. I think the vibes of it are like spot on. I think compared to say Cryptic Creeks, this sort of is definitely more folksy, sort of fairy tale vibe, and it's a bit more whimsical. I think it's or different kinds of whimsical. I like that. I'll say, these need alt text. The little bits of stuff, which again I can imagine if I want to read it out as a GM, I need alt text or I need it in the plain text. I bet actually in the accessible rich text document you can probably read it, which is really frustrating. It's not in here. I think there's again some of the spacing I think is fine. It'd just be nice to have more art in the because when you have big gaps, big white spaces, like I know they don't want to overwhelm people with it. Maybe it looks different if you have it in a book format. If I go to look at this, like a massive white space here underneath the character sheet. I think I like having character sheets like next to as a guide like that. This character sheet certainly needs to be bigger and put onto one side, I think. And then love the random tables. Really love the random tables. Oh, maybe I should. It's because I've got it on. That's fine. Additional rules I think are fun. Okay, so yeah, it makes me think that are they additional? Makes it sound like they're optional, and I don't think they're optional. Like the genius plan stuff could be optional, but the making wishes and using items stuff that seems to be basic rules. So maybe I'd say, I don't know if I'd say optional rules, but like equipment or things to think about. It comes back to again these bits of text which are really lovely. I can't read them. My eyesight's rubbish, and I already struggle to read aloud as is. Some really good bits of art. I just think there's a little bit of spacing that could you could fill it in like this. I love this. I think this is fine. It feels like this is part of a fairy book, a fairy tale book, or a children's book. Love this of the image of the fiend as well. Yeah, look at this big gap here. Again, you could put another column there or something. Or even what I've seen in some other books, I think Paint the Town Red does it, and Cryptic Creeks does it as well, but the artwork spills over onto the other page. So imagine if this fiend took up this whole page and then had a little bit of the art on one side. That could be an interesting thing. Again, appreciate ink and whatnot, but then you've got a lot of big gaps in here. I think I would like some more examples of. I think the shadows, sort of the NPC, the folks, the minions of the fiend. I would particularly love more than just which is not showing people, giving us the wants and needs, like the fears and stuff. I know we had that for the characters early on when you were doing character creation. I think a little bit more. I would love to see some more examples of shadows. Personally, I think the hollow stuff. I think that's fairly straightforward. But I like NPCs and oddness. Yeah, actually generating folks that need help and stuff like that. Yes. Yeah, I think over I love the character sheet. I really like it. I just feel like again, if it was form fillable, it would be interesting. But this certainly the harm is that you need to think of a word to describe it. Like a condition. That's what it is. I'd have it so that you could actually put the word in it, perhaps. But, there you go. There you go. So that's a quick review of Babes in the Wood. You can get your copy. Excuse me. Let me find. There we go. And I'm just going to type in the chat here so you can grab your own copy at worldchampionshipco.itch.io. Yep, there we go. Or you can get a physical copy for about $40. There's a sliding scale. So overall, I really like it. I think it'll be a nice one to try. And I know that as I said, there's an actual play of it by our wonderful friend Ed Spence, called oh, this is where I'm gonna get it completely wrong. Give me 1 second. I absolutely need to. Beyond the Brook. Whew. There was a moment that I was like, oh no, I don't remember the word of it. But yes, Beyond the Brook, the little actual play series, about 10 episodes, I want to say. Using this system, and it's got all the good vibes. I think all the cast in it is brilliant from what I've seen, and it's a good story and it's well put together. So do go check that out if you've been interested in like this read along stream. I'd go check that out for sure. Yeah, I think overall I really liked it. I could have done with a little bit more explanation for certain things, I think, and like I said, like there's always something with the layout stuff. Always like alt text, and we need form fillable playbooks, guys. That's just some things. Lovely, thank you, Fiona. Oh no, thank you so much, Sakai. I very much appreciate it. I hope you got something out of it. But yeah, you can check that out. I'm going to go back to Big Fiona face. There we go. Hello. So in the wrap up to this, I will do the normal spiel. If you've enjoyed this, come check out What Am I Rolling, which is a twice monthly tabletop RPG one-shot podcast where we do lots of different RPG one-shots looking at different systems. And most recently, we've been talking to game designers about stuff. I'm currently going through like a world-building phase because I have recently moved continents. So I'm trying to basically get myself back into gear about creating content whilst I'm here. So we're doing some world building and just talking through that, and then just getting a few other bits and pieces done in the background. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, come check us out there. If you're like, Fiona, I only care about D&D because that is the 50th year, don't you know? I'm like, yes, well, there's also the DM's book club as well. We are currently sort of in the final couple of episodes of the Travel Book Club, where we have gone on a traveling guide to the inner planes of existence. We did a previous Travel Book Club over 2 years ago now, which is quite sad, of the outer planes, and now we're doing the inner planes. And we're looking, basically, we read the books so that you don't have to. You can come along, check out a couple of things. You don't need to watch, you don't need to listen to them in any order whatsoever. But we just chatting about D&D and talking about the lore, because some of the lore is really interesting. And we can critique it and use it in any story. It doesn't matter what the system is. I guess, as we just said, you read the book so you don't have to. Finally, come check out. Just I was trying to spell. I can't spell Discord. We've got a Discord for this sort of stuff as well, so feel free to come and hang out and come chat to us in there. We're just chilling in there just now. Just thinking of any tabletop RPG stuff you'd like to see used on the Too Long Didn't Read tabletop RPG streams. I'm hoping at some point, looking out of the window far off, again to sort out like a little Patreon or Ko-Fi, just so that again sponsor to keep things ticking over whilst getting on the feet. And because I do think again, I'm not saying I'm the best at these sort of things. Ultimately, these streams are a mixture of me reading books, accountability, getting used to reading aloud. It's been a long time since I'm doing it, and I kind of need to do it for some work stuff, and also sharing my thoughts and stuff as someone who is a game designer adjacent, game runner, stuff. How easy is to pick up these things, and do you want a game that does this? That's different to 5th edition. So it's a way to learn all these things, and yeah, it's just something I find interesting. And I also would say, because I said this about the Daggerheart playtest as well, is that you should. I always recommend there's always that thing of buying games and I just want to play them. Read through them and see if it's a game you would like to play. Because I feel like you get different things out of reading them through and playing them. You get best of both worlds if you do both, but I think there's always a game that you always gain something out of reading them. I'm reading through just now for fun, the Keeper Tips for Call of Cthulhu that got released, basically general advice for running games, and it's got advice from Scott and Steph Skorkowski, and the info in there, I think it's quite good. It's interesting how they run their games and stuff like that. Obviously, I will say, I realised as soon as I'd done the Call of Cthulhu, too long didn't read the tabletop RPG stream last week. Chaosium did hire back. A not very good person. So I was like, oh well, whoops. Oh well. Anyway, we will be back tomorrow for the final one of these of the week. I might do another one over the weekend. We'll see if I've got time. I tend not to do them over the weekend anymore because I've got to be present for things. But I am on my own this weekend, so I might just have a look-see there. But tomorrow, tomorrow we're going through the preview chapter of Castles in the Air, which is an RPG written by the Storybrewers Publishing, or Storybrewers Roleplay, sorry, who are the people behind The Good Society. It's their latest one of that. So it's not going to be like an actual quick start. As you'll see, their games, certainly the Pen by Good Society games, it's very hard to have a quick start of those games. But the preview chapter will give us an idea of what we can look forward to, so we'll be reading through that there. And then next week, we've got a few other ones I've already put up there. We've got View Screen, which is like a LARP horror game, which sounds cool. Universalist, which is it's a world-building game. And then Hollows, the quick start. So that came out, or the start of that came out recently, and they've launched a Kickstarter. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll be current and check those out as well. So you've got loads to look forward to, and I've got a couple of if you're interested, I try to put the events up in the Discord. I'm very bad at social media, so you'll never see them going up on social media unless I work out how to automate these things. But join the Discord and let's chat there if you'd like to. That's all. That's all I've got. I'm going to go get ready, go do some actual work, and get on with that. Thank you so much for being here, folks, and I will see you tomorrow or whenever you see you. So have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm just going to press the button to end the stream. And yeah, play more games, have fun, have a good evening or good time zone wherever you are. Mwah! Have a good one, friends. Bye!